Good evening, Pa. So, இன்னைக்கு class நம்ம பார்க்கிறது biological classification. Okay, va. So, what do you mean by classification? So, classification is nothing but we are just arranging our own desired organisms. So, Aristotle classification, who the person he attempted a more scientific basis for classification of organisms. Actually, biological classification அப்படிங்கும்போது நம்ம என்ன பண்றோம் நம்மளோட living organisms like microbes, plant, animal இது எல்லாத்தையும் சேர்த்து நம்ம என்ன பண்றோம்னா ஒரு கிளாசிஃபிகேஷன்ல கொண்டு வரோம் சரிங்களா. So he classified plant to trees, shrub and herbs, animals into two groups, those with red blood and without red blood. ஓகேவா. So அடுத்தது வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா Linnaeus two kingdom classification. Linnaeus kingdom classification. So Linnaeus in the year 1758 la he classified organisms into two kingdom, one plantae இன்னொன்னு வந்து animalia. அதாவது all plants under plantae and all animals including mammals under animalia. So இதோட drawbacks என்ன, two kingdom classification ஓட drawbacks என்ன அப்படினு பாத்தீங்கன்னா prokaryotes எதெல்லாம் வருதுன்னா bacteria and your cyanobacteria, and eukaryotes like fungi, mosses, fern, gymnosperm and angiosperm இது எல்லாமே included under plant. So based on the presence of cell wall. So அதோட different characters, other characters எல்லாமே widely எதுவுமே வந்து differ பண்ணி நம்ம கொடுக்கல. So அது ஒரு main drawback இருக்கு நமக்கு. And it included the unicellular and multicellular organisms in the same group. அதாவது unicellular organisms multicellular organisms, for example chlamydomonas and spirochera இது எல்லாமே under algae ல நம்ம கொடுத்திருக்கோம். And also it didn't differentiate between the heterotrophic fungi and autotrophic green plants. So இது ரெண்டையும் நம்ம differentiate பண்ணல. So இதெல்லாம் some of the important drawbacks. So fungi have அதோட cell wall ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா fungi ஓட cell wall, இப்ப bacteria ஓட cell wall, bacteria வந்து நமக்கு தெரியும் is a microbe, whereas fungi also it is a microbe. So why we called it as microbe அப்படினா we cannot see by naked eye, நம்மளால வெறும் கண்ணால பார்க்க முடியாது. We can see only with the help of microscope. So fungi வந்து fungi bacteria ரெண்டுமே வந்து நமக்கு என்னன்னா microbes. So ரெண்டுமேோட cell wall ல வந்து it has some material. It has some material. Okay va. So bacteria oda cell wall la pathina it has polysaccharide and your lipids, whereas fungi vandu pathina it has chitin in their cell wall material, while the green plants have cellulosic cell wall. Okay va. So two kingdom classification. So classification is nothing but it is the arrangement of organisms. So நம்ம என்ன பண்றோம்னா wide diversity உள்ள organisms நம்ம என்ன பண்றோம்னா certain groups கீழ நம்ம arrange பண்றோம். அதுல two kingdom and your five kingdom. Two kingdom ங்கிறது Linnaeus he introduced plantae and animalia, whereas five kingdom classification it is proposed by R.S. Whittaker in the year 1969. So இதுல என்னென்ன வருது, it includes Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. சரிங்களா. So this is based on எதை பேஸ் பண்ணி நம்ம பிரிக்கிறோம், cell structure, thallus organization. Thallus is nothing but அந்த vegetative structure, அந்த whole body நம்ம சொல்றோம் இல்லையா. So அதுதான் thallus organization, and mode of nutrition, reproduction and phylogenetic relationship. So அடுத்தது வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா three domain class system. So three domain system it divides kingdom Monera into two domain. One eukaryotic kingdom are included into third domain, and this it is sixth kingdom classification. So actually classification la five kingdom is the another broad criteria. So it was proposed by R.H. Whittaker in the year 1969. It includes Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. So additionally we have added kingdom Monera into two division. So the one eukaryotic kingdom are included in the third domain. Eukaryotic kingdom number third domain include பண்ணிக்கிறோம். So இது நம்ம six kingdom classification நம்ம சொல்றோம். But generally we follow five kingdom classification based on the cell type, cell wall, nuclear membrane, body organization and mode of nutrition. So இத வச்சு நம்ம என்ன பண்றோம் அப்படினா cell நம்ம classification வந்து five kingdom நம்ம செப்பரேட் பண்ணிருக்கோம். The first one பாத்தீங்கன்னா Monera, Protista, fungi, plantae, animalia. So Monera or cell type another it is prokaryotic. So all the unicellular it is comes under Monera. Okay, so either a cell wall it has non-cellulosic material, that is polysaccharide and amino acids. So நமக்கு என்ன பாத்தீங்கன்னா lipids வந்து மேஜரா இங்க இருக்கும். Then அதுக்கப்புறம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா nuclear membrane is absent. Why? Because தனியா separate nucleus கிடையாது. So nuclear membrane is absent. So because DNA is dispersed on the cytoplasm. So completely it is spread over on the cytoplasm. It doesn't have any separate organelles. Okay, for the arrangement. After the body organization அப்படிங்கிறது it is cellular, and mode of nutrition என்ன மொனிராக்கு பாத்தீங்கன்னா they are autotrophic. Autotrophic அப்படிங்கிறது photosynthetic and chemosynthetic and sometimes on the heterotrophic. So photosynthetic we know that they are producing food by the help of sunlight. They are producing as the autotrophic. Trophic அப்படினாலே mode of nutrition. Auto means self. So they are producing their own food. Chemosynthetic அப்படினா they will be dependent on the chemical substituents. சரிங்களா? And heterotrophic அப்படினா like saprophyte and parasites. The autotrophs also included, along with they will dependent on another source. அதுதான் heterotrophic. அதாவது saprophyte அதுக்கு best example என்ன சொல்லிருக்காங்கன்னா, so they have given saprophyte and parasite. So what do you mean by saprophyte and parasite? So these are the group of organisms. They will dependent on completely with another organisms for their survival. Okay, so next one வந்து protista. So அதோட cell type என்னது eukaryotic. So all the multicellular, அதாவது more than one cellular அது எல்லாமே இதுல வந்துரும். Then இதோட present cell wall it is present, nuclear membrane is present, and body organization it is cellular type, and mode of nutrition it is autotrophic and heterotrophic, that is photosynthetic. They can produce their own food. Apart from they can dependent on another source for their nutrition. And the third one group was the fungi. So it is cell type, it is eukaryotic, and cell wall it is present, and it is made up of chitin and polysaccharide, and the nuclear membrane it is present, and body organization pathina it is multicellular, and loose tissues is arranged as in a அதோட body organization ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா so loose tissue ஆல the structure வந்து organize ஆயிருக்கும். Then mode of nutrition பாத்தீங்கன்னா heterotrophic, that means they are saprophytic or sometimes they will be in a parasitic mode. So they will completely dependent on another source, and apart from they can produce their own food. So plantae, so all the plants are included, and இதோட body organization பாத்தீங்கன்னா tissues are organ, and the cell wall is present which is made up of cellulose, and nuclear membrane is present, and it is eukaryotic, and they can produce their own food with mode of nutrition. So அதோட mode of nutrition பாத்தீங்கன்னா autotrophic, அதாவது photosynthetic. Animalia it is eukaryotic, cell wall is absent, we know that, and nuclear membrane is present, and body organization tissue organ system. So இதெல்லா complete a separate chamber we have, and it is heterotrophic. Holozoic are sometimes on the saprophytic. So இப்போ one by one நம்ம பார்க்கலாம். So what is kingdom Monera? So kingdom Monera வந்து all the bacteria are included, all the unicellular organisms are included under kingdom Monera. So bacteria are the most abundant microorganisms. So what do you mean by the term abundant? Means they are ubiquitous in nature. Ubiquitous in the sense they will be present in everywhere. Because say for an example, since we are taking classes and we are taking in the sitting in the room and we are taking class, right? So just we are thinking like it is an environment, we don't have any microbes because we cannot see any microbe as it is. But we know that here a tiny objects like microbes are present, we can able to see with the help of microscope. Okay, so microbes are present everywhere because microbes they are ubiquitous. The term ubiquitous means they are present everywhere. They can present here, they can present in the land form, they can present in the soil, they can even present in the water, they can also present on the human cell surface, human body surface, they can present, except a few parts like blood and some inner parts of eyelid, I think so. So these two parts are exceptional cases. So apart from all except these two parts, apart all the organs they will be providing with microbes, and thus will be considered as a this will be called as a normal microflora, because they will be considered as a beneficial one. A few only will be considered as a harmful depending upon our own lifestyle. Okay, were based upon our own lifestyle. So bacteria, they are ubiquitous in nature, and hundreds of bacteria are present in the 1 gram or 1 handful of soil. Hundreds of bacteria. So it is uncountable, it is innumerable. Okay, so it is uncountable. Okay, they are also live in extreme habitats, such as they can also present in the hot spring, they can also present in the desert, they can also present in the snow and deep oceans as well. And many are parasites. Yes, of course, because bacteria, they can produce their own food with the help of another host, and also they can be act as a parasites in some situations as well. And based on the shape, they will be having 4 types. One is coccus. That is, coccus means it is round shape. Okay, so bacteria, they will be in a round shape, coccus. And bacillus, it is rod shaped. And vibrium, comma shaped. And spirillum, spiral shaped. So some bacteria, they are autotrophic. They can synthesize food from the inorganic substances. They can produce their own food. And majority group are heterotrophic, and they cannot synthesize food but dependent on another organisms or on dead organic matter for the food. Adula, first one group, it is Archaebacteria. So Archaebacteria, it is a group of bacteria. They live in harsh habitat. They live in harshest habitats such as extreme salty area, that is halophile, hot spring and marshy areas. Archaebacteria are a group of bacteria. They can only present in a adverse environment. What do you mean by adverse environment? Means extreme salt condition, extreme heat condition, extreme cold condition, or extreme hot spring. So அதுக்கு தான் ஒவ்வொரு examples they have given, like salty area they will be called as halophile. It is also a group of archaebacteria. And hot springs with thermoacidophiles. Thermoacidophiles, it is a group of archaebacteria. They will be present only in the hot spring. And methanogens are also a group of archaebacteria. They will be present only in the marshy areas. So archaebacteria, they will be possess a different cell wall which don't have normal bacteria. Cell wall structure for their survival at extreme environment. And methanogens are also a group of archaebacteria. They will be present only in the gut of the ruminant animal. ஓகேங்களா, ஸோ கவ் அந்த பஃபலோஸ் அந்த மாதிரியான அனிமல்ஸோட கட்ல பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இந்த மாதிரியான மெத்தனோஜென்ஸ்ங்கிறது குரூப் ஆஃப் பாக்டீரியா. தே கேன் ஏபிள் டு ப்ரொடியூஸ் methane. They can produce methane as a biogas. We know that from the dung of these animals. And the second group, it is eubacteria, or otherwise said to be true bacteria. They have rigid cell wall and with a flagellum, if motile means. Okay, so with the help of flagellum, they can move from one phase to another phase. And they include autotroph like photosynthetic and chemosynthetic and your heterotrophs. The first one பார்த்தீங்கன்னா photosynthetic autotroph. அதுக்கு ஒரு best example you have cyanobacteria. So cyanobacteria, we know that, and it is otherwise said to be blue-green algae, BGA. In short form, we can call it as BGA. So they have chlorophyll A. So we have some types on it. Chlorophyll, it is a green pigment, and it is major responsible for the photosynthesis process. So it is similar to green plant, as they can produce their own food as plants do. So cyanobacteria are otherwise said to be blue-green algae. They are unicellular, colonial or filamentous in shape. And few they will be present in a marine or terrestrial algae. So the colonies are generally surrounded by gelatinous sheet. So this is the one best example of cyanobacteria, that is anastoc and your anabina. So either one we can take. So we have heterocyst in the portion, heterocyst H mari or portion of heterocyst in the middle of the structure, and there will be the outer lining cover, outer envelope layer. You could see that the greenish layer, that is mucilaginous sheath. That is the sheath, we call it as gelatinous sheath, which completely surrounds the organisms. A filamentous blue-green algae, it is said to be nostoc. So heterocyst is the place where the atmospheric nitrogen is completely fixed. We know that soil, it has a nitrogen in an unavailability form, and also soil has a very effective bacteria to fix these unavailable nitrogen into available one. So by the way, the available nitrogen is getting utilized by the soil plant. Okay, so this is the place where the available nitrogen are getting fixed. Is that clear? They often form blooms in the polluted water bodies. They often form blooms in the polluted water bodies. Because of the presence of cyanobacteria, we can see the some of the pond. If you see, means we can form a greenish mat like layer on the outer layer water bodies. We could able to see the complete sheet, green sheet. அதுதான் நம்ம என்ன சொல்றோம்னா bloom னு சொல்லுவாங்க. So some of them fixes atmospheric nitrogen in specialized cells, that is heterocyst, as I have already told. And the second group, it is chemosynthetic autotroph. Chemosynthetic autotroph. They can oxidize inorganic substances such as nitrate, nitrite, ammonia, and use the released energy for ATP production. And also they help in recycling nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, and sulfur. And the third one major group, it is heterotrophic bacteria. They are most abundant in nature because they will be present in everywhere, and the majority mostly they call it as majority group, they call it as decomposers. Okay, they can easily compose the inorganic material. The impact of heterotrophic bacteria on the human affairs, they are used to make curd from milk. So we can easily make curd from the milk, and they will be involved in the production of antibiotic. A few bacteria, that is a heterotrophic group bacteria, are involved in the production of antibiotic as well, and they will be involved in the fixing unavailable nitrogen in the leguminous plant root. We know that leguminous plant is said to be something which is covering. Okay, inside there will be the pot, like the indala solvanga nelakadala, peanut plant, adella we collectively called it as leguminous. Pot covering plant are simply called it as leguminous plant. So those leguminous plant roots are majorly responsible for involving in the fixing nitrogen with the help of nitrogen fixing bacteria. And some are pathogens causing diseases. For example, cholera, typhoid, tetanus, and citrus canker. We know that microbes, they will be having two sides. One is beneficial, another one is harmful effect depending upon our own activity. So reproduction in bacteria, we can see. So bacteria, they reproduce by binary fission. They used to divide it into two. That we simply call it as binary fission. And under unfavorable conditions, they produce spores. Yes, spores are nothing but a dormant structure. Dormant structure is nothing but they can survive at extreme environment, and also they will be produced only at the extreme environment or adverse conditions. For example, I can say if there is any nutrient availability or if there is any starvation to the particular microorganisms, means they can immediately start to produce a dormant structure, which we collectively called it as spores. They also produce a sort of sexual reproduction, like DNA transfer from one bacteria to another bacteria. And mycoplasmas are organisms without cell wall. So mycoplasma are a group of organisms without cell wall. They are the smallest living cells and they can survive without oxygen. And mycoplasma, or otherwise they'll be having another name called fried egg-like appearance. So if you could see the colonies, if you plate mycoplasma on the agar plate, means we could able to see the fried egg so on the fried egg-like appearance we could see. So the second group it is kingdom Protista. Second group it is kingdom Protista. It includes all the single-celled eukaryotes. Single-celled eukaryotes is coming under kingdom Protista. The cell contains well-defined nucleus and other membrane-bound organelles. Some have flagella or cilia. So Protista are primarily aquatic animals. So it is a link with plant, animal and fungi. They produce asexually and sexually. Yes, of course, they can involve in both mode, one sexually and another one is asexually. Asexually it is cell fusion, cell to cell contact will be there and zygote formation will be there. So Protista include chrysophyte, dinoflagellate, euglenoid, slime mold and protozoan. They have two flagella which are short and long one. They are photosynthetic in the presence of sunlight. In the absence of sunlight, they behave like a heterotroph by the predating on smaller organisms. The pigments are identical to those in higher plants. For example, euglena we can say. So here are some of the important organs, a group of organisms which are comes under Protista. So we'll see one by one. Chrysophyte. So chrysophyte, they will be mostly found in the fresh and marine environment and they are microscopic. They are easily float passively in the water current, that is plankton. So water current means the water waves so that we can say water current, and most of them they are photosynthetic because they are present in the water current. So sun can easily penetrate onto it. So because of the sunlight and pigment, they can easily produce their own food. And it includes diatoms and golden algae, desmites. And diatoms, they have a ciliate cell wall forming two thin overlapping shells which fit together as in a soap box. So soap box diatom shapes on the The cell wall deposits of diatoms over billion of years in their habitat is known as diatomaceous earth. So it looks like diatomaceous earth. This is used in the polishing, filtration of oil, syrups. So it is the chief producers in the ocean. And next one it is dinoflagellates. So what are the dinoflagellates? They are nothing but mostly they are marine and photosynthetic group. They appear yellow, green, brown, blue or red based on the main pigment which are present in their cell wall. So cell wall it has stiff cellulose plate on the outer surface. So most of them have two flagella. One will be present as a longitudinal and other one the transversely in a furrow between the wall plate. So there will be a example, best example. One is red dinoflagellate. For example, we can say gonologues undergo rapid multiplication so that the sea appears red. Red tide will be there. So they release toxins and kill marine animals like fishes actually. And the third group it is euglenoids. They will also present in the fresh water and which are found in stagnant. So mostly when the stagnant water they will be present. So instead of cell wall they have a protein rich layer called pellicle. It makes the body flexible. And the fourth one it is slime mold. They are saprophytic protista. Saprophytic, we know that they are dependent on another source for their complete survivability, and the body moves along decaying twigs and leaves engulfing organic material. Under suitable conditions, they form an aggregation called plasmodium. It may spread over several feet actually. So plasmodium, it is a false leg we can say. So under unfavorable conditions, plasmodium differentiates their fruiting body and which can able to carry over spores at their tips. So spores, they have true walls actually. They are highly resistant and survive for many years. So spores are nothing but they are the dormant structure which can survive under adverse conditions and they may can survive at many years actually. So spores and they can also dispersed by air. And the fifth one it is protozoan. Protozoan they are otherwise said to be predator on parasites and they are heterotroph. They are primitive relative animals and there are four groups in it: amoeboid, protozoan, flagellated, ciliated and sporozoans. Okay, so with this we are completing today class and tomorrow we will continue with kingdom fungi. Thank you.